Oh, man. Are we, okay, I'm doing the math here. Are we 3 days or 4 days from election? 4? But we're kind of almost 3, right? 3.5 days? Whatever it is, we're going to win big. Do you feel it? And we have such an amazing movement. Blake, Blake is, I don't want to say like a son because I'm not that old, but we've become really good friends. And, Mark and Abe, we are in this together. We are in this to save Arizona. And I'm so excited about it. And I see Roxana here. Roxana is a Republican former police officer running in Tempe and South Scottsdale. She's awesome. She's running against, and it's normally a Democrat district, but the Democrats don't show up for work. Shocking, I know. The guy she's running against showed up like, how many days? 6 days out of a gazillion days. And he already vowed, if you reelect him, he's going to not show up this session. And he's actually a candidate. I mean, that should be enough to knock him out. So they're going to vote for Roxana, the great Republican. You know somebody. And we've got Wendy Rogers down here. Stand up, Wendy. I love this woman. Wendy, come up here. I got to have Wendy come up. Wendy Rogers is a grandma who loves her grandbabies. And she fights for Arizona. And I'll tell you what, because she fights for Arizona, you know how many text messages I got last session? You need to separate and back away from Wendy Rogers. I said, hell no. She fights for Arizona like no one I've ever seen. Just like they say, back away from President Trump. I will never back away from fighters who love this state. You want to say a few words, Wendy? Put you on the spot.
Well, it was Kari who would text me also and back me up. And it wasn't her fight, but she was there for me. And that would be at like 11:15 at night. And she would text me and say, I'm behind you. Never give up. You're over the target. Let's win this.
I love you so much. And Wendy's going to win so big. She's going to win so big. She said, Kari, I don't need to. I already have won. And so I'm going to work for you. And she's been in front row of every one of these rallies we've done. I had to call her up because I just want you to know, when they were attacking Wendy Rogers, the person who was standing up the most for Arizona, and they were trying to get me to back away from her, I said, that's not who I am. I don't back away from the people. If I back away from Wendy, then that means I'd back away from you. And I will never back away from the good people of Arizona. I will fight for you. So, I love you too. We just came from the border today. We were in Cochise County, and boy, they have it tough down there. The border is so complex here in Arizona. You can't just compare us to any other border. We've got the Yuma sector. We have the Tucson sector. We have what's happening on the Indian reservations. We have a situation where what they're called gotaways are coming across. We've got 5 million people or more, I believe, who've come across since Joe Biden took office. Can you believe in the first 10 minutes of his administration, his priority was to strip away an incredible border policy that President Trump had put in place? In the first 10 minutes. I mean, you'd think you'd want to settle into the White House. No, he said, we've got to make that border wide open and let everybody come across. And he did that in 10 minutes' time. We've had more than 5 million people. We've had fentanyl pour across at levels that would just blow your mind. We've finished the wall. That's right, we're going to. I was actually down there today, and there's about a block, maybe a half a mile of fencing and the materials that are for the wall. Guess who paid for those? We did. Guess who's going to take them back and use them? We are. And we're going to do that right away. Wendy and the legislature is going to help us redefine that as abandoned federal property. We're taking it back. We're going to finish President Trump's wall. Yes, we are. And And we're down there. We got to have a united Republican force. Somebody said it's so rare to see, the AG, the Senate candidate, the governor candidate, the Secretary of State, all of you working together. Usually politicians are pretty selfish and greedy. Not the Republicans. We are working together as a team. And we're going to work for you. So we were down there today, and I know that as bad as the border is, it's in a really bad place right now. I have so much hope because I know we're going to win, and I know that the Republicans are willing to put the hours in, show up at work, and do the job. And we're going to do that and secure that border. And we're ready for the fight. But so every day is 521 days on the campaign trail. Not that I'm counting, but my staff told me it was that long. It actually feels like one very long day, to be honest. And we've had so many great experiences. I actually stood up here very early on for Arrowhead women's Republican group. You remember that? You probably lined it up really early on when I first announced. And so I feel like we've been through a million battles since then. But yesterday was really one of those, kind of a pinch me day. Guess who came out and attacked me? Barack Obama. Exactly. He was talking about me, and it was so funny. I'm living rent-free in Barack Obama's mind, which is great. And I didn't actually listen to his speech until today. I was on Fox, and they were playing some of it, and I'm like, wow, I'm really living rent-free. He went on and on. And they have nothing to attack us on. Okay, they attacked Trump for his tweets. I'll take a mean tweet any day. How about you? Well, they can't attack me. My tweets aren't mean. They're funny, but they're not mean. They attacked him, orange man bad. I'm not orange, and neither is he, by the way. Unless the cameras try to mess with the color. So they can't attack me on that. They can't attack me for, not being able to articulate things. I've got a little experience in that. We have great policies, so they can't attack us on that. So you know what he attacked me on? The fact that I worked on TV. He attacked me for being articulate, and he attacked me for having good lighting in my home studio. That's all they've got. I was like, oh, this is so classic. Their attack on me is that I have good lighting. This is how desperate they are. So I laughed when Obama was attacking me. I laughed when Liz Cheney came in and attacked me. She spent $500,000 running attack ads on us, and we made $750,000 when she started attacking us. And then Katie Hobbs invites the worst of the worst. I would die of shame if this man came anywhere near me. Eric Holder. This was the guy that ran the gun running scheme that ended in the death of one of our brave Border Patrol agents, Brian Terry. She's actually arm in arm with this guy, and she's thinking that's a good thing. That's somebody who's out of touch, truly. I mean, this woman doesn't know what she's thinking, but one thing did scare me. Yesterday, I heard Hillary Clinton talking about me. You might be right on that. Let's see what we can do. Let's see what we can do. You know what? The fake news is going to run with it. I don't even care what they say. But so I'm fearless. I really am. I mean, once you walk through fear and you come out on the other side and are fearless, you really don't care about all these people. But I will tell you, there was a little tinge of fear when Hillary Clinton started talking about me. I said I went on Fox, I said, I just want everyone to know I'm in perfect health. We've recently had our car serviced and the brakes are in perfect working condition. And I am not suicidal. Let the record be shown. Hillary and Bill, just stay away from Arizona, okay? So I'm joking now. We're a few days away. I'm a little stir crazy from all the craziness that's been going on. But I think you all know where we stand, where we Republicans stand. We want common sense solutions, and we need them. We have a wide open border. I'm the first candidate in the governor's race to start talking about that. When I got into this, there were a few people who were in politics who said, just don't talk about the border. Don't talk about Trump. Don't talk about COVID. Don't mention the vaccines. And I'm like, that's everything we care about. Get away from me. We're going to talk about what people care about. We're going to secure the border. Starting on day one. We have to. We're going to stop the flow of fentanyl. We are going to fully fund our police. Restore law and order. And you see these amazing, beautiful, precious babies over here? We're doing it for these guys. We are here, all of us in this room. I want you precious kids to know, each and every one of these adults you see here, all of us old people, we are here for you guys. Because we love you guys. How many mama bears, papa bears, grandma bears, and grandpa bears are in this room? Are you voting on Tuesday like your grandkids and your babies depend on it? What they're doing to our kids is what I think got a lot of moms and dads involved. They just told me the other day when we were looking at our numbers, they said, guess what? The suburban moms, the mama bears are moving Republican so fast. The Democrats' heads are spinning. And it's because the left did the stupidest thing in the world. I mean, you'd have to understand nature. You don't get between a mama bear and her baby cub. It's the most dangerous place in the world. And when you do that, we're going to rip you to shreds. Rip you to shreds. So we found out, and people like Wendy know this, she worked with Katie Hobbs when Katie was in the legislature. Katie Hobbs voted against the border wall. She voted against the virtual border wall. She voted against funding the border strike force to save us from border crimes. Twice she voted against that. At the same time, she put her name on legislation, sponsoring legislation to introduce sex education starting in kindergarten. I can't even think, I don't even think Democrats are for that, right? That's sick. I know, call it what you want. If he said she's a pervert, maybe, I don't know. That's degenerate. That's a degenerate. And I'm going to tell you this. I don't have a 5-year-old anymore, but our precious kids, if any adult wants to talk to these precious children. Are you 5? This little precious guy, he said, stand up, sweetie. Did you see how precious this guy is, guys? He's 5 years old. He's probably 6. And I don't want to get graphic here, but you know what I'm talking about. Anybody who's an adult who wants to talk to these precious kids about that should be nowhere near a school. And that's what Katie Hobbs wants. And I couldn't figure it out. I thought, why? And why is she supporting on her website? I don't even know what they call it. They've got some fancy gender affirmation surgery for our children. She supports that. And I thought, why would she do that? She's a mother. Her husband, turns out, we find out yesterday, is a child psychiatrist who specializes in transitioning our children. She's making money off of it. It's disgusting. Listen, I have a compassionate heart, and if someone's dealing with that issue, I have compassion. But keep it out of our kids' schools. Keep it out of our kids' minds. Don't brainwash our children, and we're going to change things up. If it's okay with you, we're not going to teach that garbage in school. Are you okay with that? If it's okay with you, we're going to get back to some of the basics, reading, writing, arithmetic. Is that okay? I'm a product of public school. My father was a public school teacher. He was a football coach. He taught history and government and the Constitution, which we need to teach a little more of lately. And God rest his soul, I think he would be pretty shocked at what's happening in America. But we have a real opportunity on Tuesday to turn this whole thing around. We took a wrong turn a long time ago, and we need to get back on path and get going in the right direction. And I have so much confidence and faith because I'm seeing a lot of people out on these rallies we're doing. We do sometimes 2 and 3 a day. And I ask people, go back 4 years ago. Would you have found yourself in the middle of the week, although we're on Friday now? We have the same social life now. Friday nights, we're rallying. But, we have people who show up on a Tuesday night at 6 p.m. And I say, how many of you 3 or 4 years ago would have found yourself coming to listen to politicians? Raise your hand if you would have. There's a few of you. There's a few. Wendy, you probably would have. No, Wendy wouldn't have either. There's a few of you. Look at this crowd, fake news. 3 or 4 years ago, none of these people were in it. This is how awake America is right now. Wide awake. And so we're ready for a change. We're ready to get back to some of the basics. We're ready to get back to the America that we know. And we want to make sure that these precious babies over here have the freedoms we had, the liberties we have, the rights we had, and the America that we had. And we're bringing it back. Is anybody ready for that? I am. I just love this crowd so much because I see Arizona. I see people who've been here forever. We've got some probably 3rd and 4th, maybe 5th generation Arizonans. We probably have some escapees from California here. Got a few. Someone went like this. The blue states are escaping. I think there's a whole new industry.